Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict, and today I have a crochet tutorial for what I'm calling the Sunday Post Beanie. I created this on one of my Sunday lives called Crochet with JTYA, and I loved it so much that I decided I wanted to create this tutorial just for you. This beanie features just a few basic stitches such as single crochet, doubles, front post double crochet, and half double crochet. If you don't know how to do any of those stitches, don't worry, I'm going to show you every step of the way. This project also features color changes, so just after the crown, all the way down to just before the brim, we change colors every single round, but don't worry, we carry the yarn, so we have minimal ends to sew in. I'm going to flip this around and show you what that looks like. So this is what our project looks like when we carry the yarn. No ends to sew in, it's very, very nice. We do sew in one of the ends right here. I believe we sewed in the gray. You can't see it at all. It's really nice. And then we continue on with the blueberry, which is this colorway right here. And then we sew in our end right there. Super, super nice. The yarn that I used for this beanie is Premier's Anti-Peeling Bamboo Chunky. And the recommended hook size for this yarn was a 6.5mm US letter K. And for today's tutorial, I will be using the same yarn, but just in different colors. So we have boysenberry on this side here, and then terracotta on this side here. And I'm going to be using a 6.5mm hook. So there is that. So this beanie here measures 9 inches from the crown to the brim and 10 inches from side to side, and it does fit heads measuring 21 to 23.5 inches. It's got some stretch to it, which is super, super nice. So I strongly encourage that you use a bulky 5-weight yarn or a thicker 4-weight yarn. And if you're going to use the 4-weight yarn, I strongly encourage that you use a 6mm crochet hook. If you're going to use a bulky 5, follow the recommended hook size for the yarn of your choice, or a 6.5mm hook to achieve this size. Now, if you would like your beanie to be shorter, you can eliminate the half double crochet rounds here. If you need it longer, go ahead and add rounds of half double crochet here. Be sure to check the timestamps throughout so you don't lose your place throughout the tutorial. Please don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. Okay, so to get started, what we need to do is create a slip knot on our hook. However you do this is absolutely fine. This is how I do it. Once we have the slip knot established, we're going to go ahead and chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 chains, and from here we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first chain. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. So from here we're going to gently tug on our working yarn just to tighten everything up. And we're going to take our tail and pinch it against the chain, just like that, and gently pull apart. And as you can see, we have a circle there. So we're going to work our stitches out of that circle, but first we need to chain 2. So 1 and 2. Now this chain 2 here does not count as a stitch from here and throughout the project. And so for round number 1, we're going to insert 12 double crochets into our circle. And to do a double crochet, we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into our circle, draw a loop. We now have 3 loops on the hook. From here, we're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. So that is a double crochet. So just for good measure, I'm going to show you that one more time. We're going to yarn over, go into our circle, draw a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. So continue doing that until you have 12 double crochets inside of your circle. I'll meet you right here in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. I have 12 double crochets for round number 1. And to close off round number 1, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round, which is right there. And you want to make sure that you pick up the front loop and the back loop. These 2 chains, as I mentioned, do not count as a stitch. And so from here, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round, making sure to pick up the front loop and the back loop. we're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. So that is the end of round number 1. So for round number 2, we need a total of 24 stitches. And what we're going to do is chain 2. And as I mentioned, that does not count as a stitch. And so from here, we're going to begin by inserting 1 double crochet in the very first stitch we just came out of, which is right there. So 1 double crochet there, and then we're going to come around and pick up the post and that chain 2 from the last round. We're going to do a front post double crochet. But first, let's go into this very first stitch right there with a double crochet. So yarn over, go into your stitch, draw a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So that's the double crochet. From here, we are going to do a front post double crochet. Since we chained 2, we're just going to go around the post and around that chain 2. We're going to make sure that that is all one. Okay? So we are going to yarn over. We're going to come down around the chain 2 and around the post, just like that. We're going to draw a loop, pull it through, and then perform the double crochet as per usual. So yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So that is a front post double crochet. From here, we're going to go next door, and we're going to insert a double crochet in the head of the stitch. So at the top here, this is called the head of a stitch. So we're going to go into there, and we're going to pick up the front loop and the back loop with a double crochet. So let's go ahead and do that. From here, we're going to go downstairs, and we're going to insert a front post double crochet around this stitch. So we're going to yarn over, come down and around, draw a loop, bring that yarn back around, and perform your double crochet as per usual. It does take a little bit of practice, but once you get it, it becomes fairly easy. So just for good measure, I'm going to do this one more time with you. So from here, we're going to go next door with a double crochet right into the top, the head of that stitch, right there. So that's a double crochet. Once you have your double, we're going to come downstairs here and insert a front post double crochet around this stitch directly underneath. Yarn over, come down and around, draw up that loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So continue doing that to every stitch in the round. You should have a total of 24 stitches. I'll meet you right here in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. I have 24 total stitches. I have 12 double crochets and 12 front post double crochets, and this is the front and this is the back. We'll take care of this tail later on in the project, but for now we're going to leave that just as it is. So to close off round number 2, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round, which was a double crochet. We have the chain 2, which, as I mentioned, does not count as a stitch. So we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round right here, making sure to pick up that front loop and the back loop. Let's go ahead and do that. And then slip to close, just like that. So from here, what we need to do is once again chain 2. And as always, that does not count as a stitch. It just elevates us to the round. Okay, so from here, what we need to do is insert a double crochet in the very first stitch we just came out of, which is right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. From here, we're going to insert a double crochet right next door, right there in the top of the stitch. Double crochet. And then once we have the second double crochet inserted there, we're going to come downstairs and carry up that post. We created that post. We're going to carry that up. So we're going to yarn over, come down and around the post, draw a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that's the repeat of the round. So it's going to be double crochet, and directly underneath a front post double crochet. So just for good measure, we're going to do that one more time. grab some more yarn here. Okay, so we're going to go right next door here with a double crochet. We're going to hop right next door here, right where that post is. We're going to come right there with a double crochet. So 2 doubles side by side, and from there, if you see, directly underneath we have a front post. So we're going to yarn over, come down and around, draw a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So just as a reminder, it's double, double, and then front post. Okay, so continue with that, go all the way around, and I'll meet you right here at the end of the round in just a moment. In total, you need 36 total stitches. So I'll see you right here in just a moment. Okay, so I am back, and I'm at the end of round number 3, 36 total stitches. And so to close off round number 3, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round, which is right here. We're going to jump over the 2 chains, and we're going to go right into that very first stitch. And we're going to make sure to pick up the front loop and the back loop. We're going to go right through that, right there. With the tip of our crochet hook, we're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. So this is the front, and here is the back. Very, very nice. So for round number 4, we need a total of 48 stitches. So in order to achieve this, we're going to begin by chaining 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. As always, it just elevates us to the round. So as I mentioned, round 4 receives 48 total stitches. And in order to do that, what we need to do is insert 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So it's going to be a double, and a double in a row. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So that's 1 double, 2 doubles, and 3 doubles. So 3 doubles in a row, just like that. From here, we're going to come downstairs and pick up this front post. We're going to yarn over, come down and around, draw the loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that's the repeat for round number 4. So 3 doubles in a row, and then we're going to carry that front post after that 3rd double. So just for good measure, let's go ahead and do this again. We're going to insert 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, and 3. Just as you finish that 3rd double, directly beneath it, you'll see that front post. We're going to yarn over, come down and around, draw that loop, and complete that front post double crochet, just like that. So continue with that, and I will meet you at the end of this round right here in just a few moments. Make sure that you have 48 total stitches for the round, and I'll see you right here in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 4. I have a total of 48 stitches in my round, and this is the front of my work, and this is the back. Very, very nice. As you can see, we are cupping a little bit. That's perfectly okay. That's perfectly normal. So to close off the round, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the very first stitch of the round. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. So for round number 5, we need a total of 60 stitches. So to achieve this, what we need to do first is chain 2. And the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. It just elevates us to the round. Okay, so to begin, what we need to do is go into the stitch we just came out of, which is right here. We're going to go in there with a double crochet, and we're going to go into 4 stitches in total. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. That's the first double. Let's go next door here. That's the second double crochet. Let's go next door yet again for the 3rd double crochet. And then finally, we're going to go next door there for a 4th time for 4 double crochets. And as you can see, we have this front post directly underneath, and we're going to pick that up. So we're going to yarn over, come down and around that post, draw a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, just like that. And that is the repeat of the round. So 4 double crochets in a row, and then a front post double crochet directly underneath. So just for good measure, we're going to do this one more time. And right after your front post double crochet, sometimes you might have to move that front post out of the way to reveal the stitch. Just make sure you do that so you don't miss this stitch right here. So let's go ahead and do a double there, and let's do 3 more. So this is the second of 4. This is the third of 4, and here is the fourth one of 4 double crochets. So from here, as you can see, we have a front post from the previous round. We're going to carry that up. We're going to yarn over, come down and around, draw that loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And there you have it. So continue going all the way around for a total of 60 stitches, and I'll meet you right here at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. I have a total of 5 rounds here. Total of 60 stitches. I've carried up the posts. This is the front of my work, and this is the back. Very, very nice. Okay, so from here we are going to begin color changing. So without closing the round, what we need to do is grab the new color. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook right into the very first stitch of the round right here, and we're going to make sure to go through and go past the front loop and the back loop, and we're going to hook on the new color. So let's go in. Let's bring this new color around and wrap that around the head of the hook. Let's slide it through and slide it through just like that. Okay. From here, we are going to turn our work over, and all we're going to do is we are going to tie our tail onto the existing color. So we're not going to cut anything off. We're just adding a color on. So we're going to tie once and then tie a second time. Feel free to rewind and replay until you get that. And as you can see, it's a nice clean color change. All right, so to begin the next round, for round number 6, we are going to alternate between double crochets and front post double crochets. So no increasing, we're just going above and below as we go along. So to get started, let's go ahead, take the new color and chain 2. So 1 and 2. From here, we're going to go into the stitch we just came out of, which is right here. We're going to go into that stitch with a double crochet. So let's go ahead and yarn over, go into the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, just like that. From here, we're going to go next door, but go downstairs. So next door, downstairs, with a front post double crochet. Just like that. And we're going to alternate all the way around. So once you have your front post, we're going to go next door and go into the head of the stitch right there. So it's a regular double crochet. And then from there, we're going to go next door but go downstairs and do a front post double crochet. And we're just going to alternate. So that one was a front post double. Next door, we're going to do a double. From there, we're going to go next door and do a front post double crochet. Just like that. And as you can see, we're alternating. Okay? So once you have your front post, just go next door with a double crochet. All right? So continue alternating those 2 stitches all the way around for a total of 60 stitches, and I will meet you right here at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. Here I am at the end of round number 6, and I've alternated between double crochets and front posts all the way around for a total of 60 stitches, and my last stitch was a front post double crochet. So just make sure that you have a total of 60 stitches. We began with a double, and you should end with a front post double. And so let's just take a quick look behind our work here. As you can see, we have both colors behind our work, just like that. And so from here, to begin round number 7, what we need to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into the very first stitch, as we always do. We need to make sure that we go past the front loop and the back loop. And from here, we are going to drop the old color and pick up the new color, wrap it around the head of the hook, pull it through, and then pull it through, just like that. From here, we are going to go ahead and chain 2. Just pull our old color nice and tight, just like that. And so from here, what we're going to do is the exact opposite of what we just did. So last round, we started with a double. This round, we're going to do the front post double crochet, but we're going to go around the chain 2 and the stitch. Everything between my thumbs is what we're going to go around. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, come down and around, and we're going to pick up the chain 2 and the stitch, draw a loop, pull it through, and perform our double crochet as per normal, just like that. From here, where you see the front post next door, we're going to go right up top there and just do a double crochet right above it. From here, we're going to go next door. We see a regular double crochet. We're going to do a front post double crochet around that double crochet. So we're just alternating. Wherever you see a front post, you're going to put a double above it. Wherever you see a regular double crochet, you're going to do a front post double crochet. Okay? So just for good measure, let's go ahead and put a double right above this front post. Just like that. And then right next door, we have a double. Let's do a front post double. Just like that. So continue on with that. And I shall see you at the end of this round right here with 60 total stitches in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 7. We've changed the colors back to the original color, and now we're just going to continue alternating. So we're going to go back to the terracotta for round number 8. And what we want to do is make sure that we keep our tension nice and tight. So as we progress through the rounds, what we want to do is just make sure we gently tug on our yarn, both colors, just to keep everything nice and tight. Okay? So from here, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round, just like that. And we are going to drop the old color and pick up the new color, wrap it around the head of the hook, draw it through, and draw it through, just like that. And again, just make sure you keep your tension nice and tight, both colors. And so from here, what we need to do is chain 2. Let's pull on that nice and tight. Okay. So from here, we're just going to continue alternating. So we began with a front post in the last round. So here, we're going to insert a double crochet. We're going to go next door where we see a double crochet, and we're going to insert a front post double crochet. And that is the repeat. We're just going to continue alternating. So continue with that, and I shall see you at the end of the round right here in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 8, and we've alternated a few times here. And so we're just going to continue alternating these two colors in that same fashion. Let me grab the original project here, and I'm going to turn it this way. All right, so we're going to continue going back and forth between the colors until we have 11 total rounds of the back and forth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we began with the terracotta right here, and we're going to end with the terracotta. 11 total rounds. Okay, so right now we have 3. We're about to go on to round number 4. So continue alternating until you have 11 total bands, and I will be back here in just a moment once I have 11 bands completed. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back and I have a total of 11 bands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. And this is what our work is looking like. Very, very nice. Lots of front posts and double crochets. It's very, very nice. Okay, so to close off the round, we're going to do what we've always done. And so for this next round, it's going to be half double crochets in every stitch. We're no longer alternating, but we are going to change color back over to the original color. Okay, so we're going to continue changing the color. As you can see, we've carried it through. I've got both colors here. And so we're going to go into that very first stitch with the tip of our crochet hook, just like that. We are going to pick up the new color, wrap it around the head of the hook, pull it through, and slip through, just like that. And we're just going to pull everything nice and tight. There we go. And so from here, we are going to chain 2. Okay, and then from here, we're going to go into the stitch we just came out of, which is right there, with a half double crochet. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch we just came out of, draw a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops on the hook, just like that. And we're going to do this to every single stitch in the round for this round. Okay, so continue inserting half double crochets in every stitch, just like this. And I shall see you at the end of the round right here in just a moment. Okay, so I reached the end of round number 17. I've inserted a half double crochet into every stitch of the round, and this is what my work is looking like. Very, very nice. So, as it stands right now, my beanie measures 8 inches from the crown to the brim. So if 8 inches is all you need, this is where you stop. You're going to go ahead and insert 1 single crochet in the back loop of every stitch for your final round. For me though, I'm going to go 9 inches, so I have a few more rounds to go. So for round number 18, we are going to insert half double crochets once again in every stitch. But first, let's go ahead and close out round number 17 by inserting the tip of our crochet hook into the first stitch of the round. Let's go in and pick up that front loop and the back loop. There we go. Let's draw that loop, slip to close, chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And once again, we're going to go back into the stitch we just came out of with a half double crochet, just like that. And we're going to continue inserting half double crochets in each and every stitch of the round. So continue doing this, and I shall see you at the end of the round right here in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 18. I've done half double crochets in every stitch of the round, as you can see. And so what we need to do now is close out the round. So we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the very first stitch of the round. As always, that chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to go into the first stitch, picking up the front loop and the back loop. We're going to draw that loop and slip to close. Gently tug on our working yarn to make it nice and tight. And so we're going to begin round number 19. To begin round number 19, what we want to do is chain just 1. And then from here, we're going to go back into the stitch we just came out of, but we're going to go into the back loop only with a single crochet. So let's go in the top and out the back, just picking up that back loop. We're going to draw that loop, yarn over, and go through both loops, just like that. That is a single crochet in the back loop. So we're going to go next door, go in the back loop only, draw up that loop, yarn over, and go through both of the loops. And we're going to do that to every stitch in the round. Now I do want to say that the little lump here indicating the beginning of the round, it's very small and it's easy to miss. So if you need a stitch marker, by all means, put a stitch marker right in your first stitch so you don't lose your place. All right, so if you don't need it, just continue on with inserting a single crochet in the back loop of every stitch, just like this. So continue on with that, and I shall see you right here at the end of round number 19 in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 19, and I've inserted a single crochet in the back loop of every stitch, and we have this really nice ridge detail. So for the very last round, we're going to do the same exact thing we just did. So to close off the round, what we need to do is go into the very first stitch of the round. We're going to go through the front and the back loop, just like that. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close. To begin the last round, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go in the back loop of the stitch we just came out of, right here. We're just going to go in, out the back, draw up that loop. There's 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both loops, just like that. And we're going to continue picking up the back loop of every stitch and inserting a single crochet, just like that. Just go in, draw a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both, just like that. So continue doing that, and I shall see you right here at the end of the last round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 20, and this is what my work looks like. I once again placed single crochets in the back loop of every stitch, and this is what it looks like on the outside, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, and as you can see, this is where I last left the color from the color change, so it's still down there, and we're just working with the original color right here. Okay, so as it stands right now, my beanie measures 9 inches from the crown to the brim. So this is my measurement. If this is too long for you, feel free to frog back. As I mentioned, after we came out of the color changing, you could have stopped right there. It's completely up to you. You can make a bunny ear and test it on just to see. But this is where I stop. So round 20 is where I finish. So to finish off, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the very first stitch of the round, picking up the front loop and the back loop. We're going to draw that loop and slip to close, just like that. So from here, what we want to do is chain 2. 1 and 2. And then we're going to grab the scissors and we're going to cut our work, just like that. From here, we're going to take the hook and pull away from our work, pinch and pull down. And what that does is it creates a knot that will not come out. And so from here, we're going to sew in our ends. So I'm going to take my beanie and flip it inside out. And this is what the inside looks like. And first we're going to start with the crown. So we're just going to take the tail here and pull nice and tight. We're going to grab the scissors and trim that down. Perfect. Okay. So from here, we're going to take this tail here and sew that in very quickly. Fold it over the eye of the needle, push through, and just take it and sew in, going through the fibers of the like color, just like that. Just find the like color and go through those fibers. Pull through. And just for good measure, I like to go back in the opposite direction. And I like to pick up different fibers along the way, if possible. Just like that. And so from there, once again, I'm going to cut the ends. Done. Okay. Now, this is the color we carried up. And so for this, I like to make a really long tail, just like that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot here, but first what we need to do is feed the yarn through the eye of the needle, just like that. And let's bring our work up. So if you look at the stitch here, you have this stitch here with the 2 loops. So I'm just going to take the needle and go through those 2 loops, just like that. And I'm not going to pull out all the way. I'm just going to leave a little loop just like this. I'm going to go in that loop. It's going to create a knot, just like that. And just for good measure, I'm going to do that one more time. So go through. Make sure to not close too tight. You want to leave a loop just like this. And then feed your needle through the loop, just like that. Pull it nice and tight. Perfect. Now from here, we're just going to feed the needle through the yarn. Go through, picking up the fibers, just to ensure it stays in place. And then from there, we're just going to go back in the direction we came in, picking up different fibers along the way. There we go. Let's pull that through and then trim the tail. Very, very nice. And finally, last but not least, we're going to take care of this very last tail. Fold over, feed through, and then let's just go ahead and go in between, go through the fibers. Let's come down, pull that through, and then let's go back up. And then last but not least, let's go back down, picking up different fibers along the way, just to make sure it doesn't come out. There we go. And so from here, we're just going to trim. And there you have it. So let's flip this back over. And this is what the Sunday Post beanie looks like. It is super, super nice. And I have the original one right here. So now it's so nice, we have it twice. Okay, so that is it for this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. And leave a comment or two. I would definitely appreciate the support. So that is all I have for this tutorial. And until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.